Welcome on to the Tortillas and Takes podcast. You are on once again with your boy, Albie Shore. And Texas Tech is 1-0. We living it up. We feeling good. Second largest margin of victory in the Big 12 last week. Unfortunately, BYU beat us out at 69-0, which I will say, if we had full 12-minute quarters in our first game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, maybe we do beat out the 69-point difference that BYU would have put out. But, it's neither here nor there. Time to move on. We move on to next week, as Bill Belichick would say when he was a winning head coach. We're moving on to the next team. We're moving on. We're moving on to Kent State. So to talk about Kent State, do a little preview, do a little dance, be as handsome as ever. We have the people's champ himself, Jeremy Gillen. What's up, Jeremy?
Golden flashes ahoy, whatever that is. I think it's just a metaphor for like lightning.
The golden flash. I don't know what a golden flash is.
I don't know either.
I mean, don't they have like a bird or something like that on their like mascot thing?
Yes.
So maybe that's what a golden flash is.
It can refer. So even the internet isn't really sure. It can refer to several things.
The mascot, his name is Flash, the golden eagle.
Okay. Anthropomorphic golden eagle. Yeah, freaking. I hope you bring him to the game. Yeah.
Right. So here we go. I got you. Yeah.
Did you find that?
The magazine, Kent State magazine, with the forerunners of the Flash. And here is the chronology. All right. So the Kent State Normal College, which is a wild name for
You're like in Ohio State, you know where you're going? The normal college.
Yeah. You didn't get into Ohio State University, boy. You better go on to that normal college.
That's crazy.
So it established its first quote unquote real football team with full equipment and honest to goodness coaching. That's a quote. I didn't just make that up. So it says real football team with full equipment and honest to goodness coach in 1920. But they didn't score until they called the team the Silver Foxes in 1923 because a Silver Fox ranch was close to campus and was co-owned by the school's first president. So they were the Silver Foxes for a while that would have a fighting spirit. And then the new president was like, all right, the Silver Foxes, this is a stupid name. So he instituted a contest with a whopping $25 prize to select a new name for the Kent State athletic teams. And the winner was the Golden Flashes. They were like, Silver Foxes is trash. All right. But Golden Flashes, a little bit of that je ne sais quoi that we need.
Hold on, though. $25 in 1926? That's like a little over $450 today.
Is it really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Inflation.
Hey, okay. That's a nice little chunk of change there.
To come up with a name? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, okay, to come up with a name. You went from Silver Foxes to Golden Flashes. It's not like you really put a lot of effort into it, So here were the other names in the running. It was Silver Foxes. It was still in there. They could have kept there. They also had Hurricanes was a strong contender, which not a bad name, but there are no Hurricanes in Central Ohio. And then Warriors. Actually, Warriors would have been the best name. Kent State Warriors. I could have rocked with that.
Yeah,
it's not a bad name.
Cool. They'd be a much better team.
Yeah, exactly. So Golden Flashes, this is what happened. They did another contest, and Golden Flashes won again. And that's when they were going up against Hurricanes and Warriors. And it was said to be derived from the popular California Golden Bears, who won the national championship in 1920. Let me tell you something, Kent State. The whole reason you have struggled as a university in the football program is because your students back in the 1920s was like, the Cal Bears, they got something going on correctly. All right. Anytime you copy anything off of the Cal Bears, you're not going to be successful. I mean, it is what it is. All right. Yeah. What an embarrassing his throwback history. Goodness gracious. So the Kent State Golden Flashes, or Silver Foxes, depending on when you went to their school, play the Texas Tech Red Raiders here. I would say, now, I do find it funny, gold versus red, right? School there. I have always wondered, I do this thing constantly where I always think of, like, there's certain fork in the roads of your life, right? And you always say, okay, well, I chose this way. Like, I decided to go to Texas Tech. What happens if I went elsewhere? For those that don't know me, my other school would have been Baylor. Baylor was the other school I was looking at going to, funny enough. It was between Texas Tech and Baylor were the two schools I thought about, came dang near close to going to Baylor, right? So there is always that fork in the road of, I wonder if I was going to, how lame would I have ended up being if I had went to Baylor, right?
It had you running on the field in your t-shirt.
All right, so here's the thing. All right, I think that's a pretty cool tradition. I
know you like it.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's fun to make fun of. Don't get me wrong. So I'm going to chill and let everybody make fun of it because the jokes are usually pretty funny. But I think it's a pretty cool tradition. But that aside, pretty lame university. And so, like, like the swagger-filled guy that you see in front of you wouldn't have been like this if I went to Baylor. Like, I think about that. I think about the forks in the road of my life, right? So one fork in the road of Texas Tech's life has always been, well, what if we'd have just kept the Matador name? Which Matador is still a good name.
Yeah.
Right? Like, would it'd be the Red Raider song instead of the Matador song? Long live the Red Raiders. Instead, would that have been, would everything would have been swapped? Like, the Texas Tech Matadors would have been cool, but instead of Raider Red, we would have likely had it probably would have been a guy in like a Matador.
It would have been like the Mountaineer.
Yeah. It would have been just a guy in a Mountaineer costume, or in a Matador costume, which
if you're a mascot, I gotta have you having like a big head and everything. I'm not stoked about we just dressed up somebody in theater attire.
Well, so I think what would have happened is that I don't think we would have had two mascots. I think it would have been the masked rider would have been our Matador. They would have ridden in on our horse. The horse would have went somewhere else, after the ride-in. But then the masked rider or the Matador would have just been out and about as
walking around like a casual day at Disney,
Exactly. He's just been that cool guy. Like, man, it's me, the Matador. Who am I? You'll never know.
No.
John, is that you? Whoa.
You're in my math class. Whoa.
I got the mask on. Am I John? You don't know.
You can't see me.
I'm actually Juan today. We've detoured off. We've gone off the rails a little bit. But
why have we gone off the rails, Albie?
Well, it's because we just beat the hell out of UAPB by 60 points. We're about to beat another team by 60 points here in this next upcoming game in Kent State. At least this time it's an FBS opponent. So we go from playing one of the worst teams in FCS to now playing one of the worst teams in FBS. The Kent State Golden Flashes are 1-0 on the season. So there you go. They're 1-0 on the season. So they got to be feeling good. And maybe if that gives you pause, maybe you're looking at them and saying, hey, guys, they're 1-0 on the season. We got to really take them seriously. We never know. We got to respect this team, right? We don't know where this team might be headed. We don't know the type of things that they're able to accomplish. I'm just saying, this is a team that beat the Merrimack Warriors, the team that actually chose the correct mascot name. The Merrimack Warriors, they beat them 21-17. The Merrimack Warriors are a average to below average FCS team, right? They're 5-6 last year as an FCS independent. They have only been in the FCS now for 6 seasons. They were a D2 school before that. That is the team that Kent State beat by 4 points, 21-17. So yeah, sorry if I'm not, that worried. This is a team, and actually I'll let you make this joke, Jeremy, about their former coach, but they do have a new coach that, he won his opening game, so good for him. But yeah, welcome to 1-1, buddy.
What do you want to tell? What do you want to say that the reason they have a new coach, their previous coach was fired, and usually that's not that much of a red flag, even though he was 1-29. He only had one win over 30 games, which is crazy. But more importantly, he committed credit card fraud. And so that's really why the university was like, yeah, you got to get out of here, buddy. You're going out of the bounds of just athletics. Now people at banks are starting to ask questions.
Or do you think somebody maybe set him up? they were like, dude, this dude's 1-29.
They got like a GA. He's like, listen,
we gotta get out of this.
Swipe it for everything you can find.
Like, we got to get out of this contract. All right, we got to find a way to fire him with cause so we can get out of this. What can we
do? Maserati in his parking spot before he gets here.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Oh, Coach Burns, that's crazy. How could you do such a thing? Wow.
Wow, you're fired.
Yeah, you're fired. Yeah, so Kenny Burns, 1-23 in the last 2 seasons. So Coach Carney which wow name, but Coach Carney is the new head coach, and he's already matched the entire career winnings for Coach Burns with 1 win.
Yeah.
So yesterday was their second win in 3 years. So, or not yesterday, but last week was their second win in 3 years against the Merrimack Warriors. So good on them. Good on them. Good on Kent State. Good job, good effort. I couldn't be prouder.
That's right.
Of the Silver Foxes.
Yeah. Or the Flashers.
Yeah. Do you want to know? That's funny. Do you want to know the team that Coach Burns beat in 2023, his lone win?
I'd love to know.
The Central Connecticut Blue Devils. That was also part of the FCS level. They were in the NEC conference. Do you want to know who was in their conference in 2023?
The normal everybody's college conference?
Merrimack. Merrimack in 2023 was in the NEC as well. So they got
a beat on the NEC.
Let me tell you something. If Kent State is playing an NEC equivalent team, they don't beat that. Anybody else is taking the L. Literally anyone else. Literally anybody else is taking the L. But let me tell you something. Kent State, when they see Duquesne on the schedule or Wagner, Sacred Heart, they're like, yeah.
The locker room has never been more exciting.
Yeah, that's food. That's food. Ooh, we playing
St. JBL speaker.
Yeah, turn it up. Turn it up. Oh, man. A conference opponent. Nah, man.
Put the speaker away.
This is rough. This is rough. So Jeremy, so if we talk about, I'll taking away some of the jokes from, I don't know if we can take away some of the jokes from Kent State, but taking some of the jokes away from Kent State. And as we get a little bit into their depth chart and some of the players on this team, some of the players to look out for. Right. I think obviously you got to start with Kent State's quarterback. That is the senior CJ Montez. So CJ Montez is on, he's a guy that's trying to really turn around this Kent State team and this Kent State program, really trying to show both CJ Montez or Drew DeShields. I don't know who's really going to start this game. I mentioned CJ Montez, but one of those two are going to play in this game. And these are guys that are really trying to turn around some of the negative feelings of Kent State. A little bit about CJ Montez is that he was the backup quarterback at New Mexico a couple years ago. And for Drew DeShields, has really been, as a junior, I believe he is a JUCO transfer? I believe he's a JUCO transfer. But either way, this is also his first year playing there. So any comments for either Drew DeShields or CJ Montez who we might see today or this week?
I thought Drew was actually a freshman.
Got him here as a red shirt sophomore.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. But, if you look at their splits.
Or junior, sorry, as a junior.
Yeah. And you watch the limited highlight from their Merrimack game, it really feels like the Golden Flashes don't really know, Coach Carney doesn't really know what quarterback he wants to go with. They had equal play, and they pretty much had equal, like if you look at the stat sheet, they really had kind of equal performance. both with a touchdown, both with pretty much 100-something yards on essentially 10 attempts. So really, they're kind of in a sweet spot where either seems to run the offense. I read that, DeShields has a lot of trust with his receivers. He's really known as the guy with a longer arm. He threw a 70-yard bomb in the third quarter. And so it's like, he's got a lot more of that, I don't want to say long again because you kind of make fun of me, but I mean, there's a lot more to the long game when it comes to the passing game. And so, if we see DeShields in there, my expectation is that the coach is not saying, we can get them, guys. If we just pull together as a team, we can get them after we just threw the hammer down on UAPB. It's probably more like, let's use this game to calibrate kind of who's ready to step up to challenges. And so we're going to see both quarterbacks at some point. Both quarterbacks are just passing quarterbacks or not rushing quarterbacks. If they are, I'm sorry, let me write your obituary now. But, I think that this team is still – I think the Flashes are still trying to figure out who they are as a team, right? They don't have a lot of identity right now. And, I mean, that comes with the territory whenever you haven't won a game. I mean, now you won a game, but you haven't won a game since 2023, right? That's tough. It's tough when you constantly fail. What is really the identity? Because you can't keep doing what you're doing,
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. And so I will say that it seems like CJ Montez did start in the last game, and he is their starter. It seems like DeShields kind of came on a little bit later in that game. Will say this. Coach Carney talking about the faith and the confidence he has in his receivers, and guys like Cade Wolford, and who kind of was able to kind of speak to the quarterback play. Whenever a coach comes in and he's like, yeah, quarterback is one thing, but about our receivers, that tells me, oh, your quarterback can't throw. Okay. Thanks for letting me know that one right now. That your quarterback can't throw, right? To your point, Jeremy, CJ Montez, Andrew DeShields, neither of them are runners. They're going to try to pass as we can. They're going to try to get the ball out to the receivers that Coach Carney at the very least has more confidence in. Right, so I don't expect much of the running game from either one of these guys. To make a correction on CJ Montez, he did start his career out at New Mexico. Then I guess he sucked or didn't get playing time or what have you. Took a step down to Fordham. Now at Fordham, he actually played pretty well. He was going to actually be a preseason. I believe he was either listed as a potential preseason All-American, or I know he was a Patriot team first team last year at Fordham. And so it's like, all right, now time for me to work my way up. Back up to Kent State, redshirt senior season, show everybody what they've been missing, right? Coach Carney, you need me, I got you. To the tune of 6 for 9 for 91 yards and a touchdown against Merrimack. So it is interesting, and I was trying to look to see why Drew DeShields came in. Trying to see why Drew DeShields came in, if there was an injury or anything like that, and really it just seems like they just went with DeShields. Right. I didn't really see much as far as obviously I didn't watch the Merrimack Kent State game. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't necessarily get a chance to watch it. However, I didn't really see too much as to why DeShields came in the first place, if it was just a lack of work on offense, and if there really is that quarterback controversy. So it will be interesting to see who does play in this game. Again,
expect to see both. I think there's no downside for Kent State to put both out there and face a award-winning, lathered in talent defense. Because hey, if you can get a couple yards against Texas Tech, you can get a couple yards against anybody that you're going to play this year. I promise you that. So.
Yeah, what's really wild about the Merrimack Kent State game is Merrimack had the ball with the chance to win the game at the end. Shout out to the Kent State defense, but they had the ball with a chance to win the game, which I find really fun. So
the NEC, they just can't put it together against the Kent State Golden Flashes.
Yeah. They don't know what they can. They don't know what they have. When an NEC team or NEC adjacent team looked at Kent State, they're like, "Oh, that's Alabama." They're like,
"That's bad news."
It's bad news. So talking about some of the other pieces on the Kent State attack, Gavin Garcia got the most of the carries last week. Right, he also seems to be their lead back, their redshirt junior, Gavin Garcia. Last week put up 49 yards off of 15 carries, So nothing too crazy. Jose Kimbrough also seems to be somebody that's taking a good amount of the carries there, as well as so really those two guys taking over 22 carries between the two of them. So I expect to see them quite a bit. I believe Kimbrough is a guy that was transitioned over from receiver to running back with his ability. So some speed there from Kimbrough overall. Receiver wise, and some of the guys that Coach Carney was talking about, not just Garcia and Kimbrough, Cade Wolford, two nice catches, one over the middle from CJ Montez, but also a big deep catch, 79 yards to the house from the Shields that brought him all the way in for the touchdown. Really, Cade Wolford won the game against Merrimack by himself, scored the only 2 touchdowns on offense for this team. So, scored the only 2 touchdowns on offense for this team. So having those weapons is where they're really going to try to look for, not just Cade Wolford, but also Sebastian Brown. And his ability as well to get open and get some catches there as they were able to make something happen offensively, regardless of who the quarterback was.
Yeah, important to note that Cade Wolford was listed as a running back to begin the season, but they threw him in that slot role. A little bit undersized to be a wideout, so throwing him in that slot, affording kind of what I call the bane of my existence, in college when I was playing NCAA, is like that stupid seam route up the middle, and everybody's defenses seem to like favor going out wide, so the Y button was always available.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was him. That was him for this game against Merrimack. Now, again, is he going to play the same role in this game? Maybe. I mean, maybe they'll go to it again. Think like maybe we can undercut Texas Tech's defense somewhere, but we will see.
Yeah. So one guy we have not talked about from their offensive weapons, right? There was 3 touchdowns scored by Kent State in this game. Right, Cade Wolford got 2 of them from each quarterback. But there was a 3rd touchdown. It didn't happen on offense, but this guy is a receiver on offense. Now, for whatever reason, he did not catch a pass in this game against Merrimack, but he did make 1 impact play. And that guy, let me say something about him. Let me tell you, he ain't fake. If I know nothing else about this guy, I know that he's not fake. Not only is he not fake, he might just be the realist. All right.
Good land.
You like that?
I like it.
You like that? If you don't know, I'm talking about DeRillis Clark. Yeah, his first name is DeRillis, 'realist. DeRillis, first name, last name Clark. So DeRillis Clark took it to the house, right? Got a kick return touchdown to the house, 100 yards, like crazy. He runs a 4.3 40. Very fast. Can't teach speed. You can train speed, but you can't teach speed. Very fast. And offensively, it'll be interesting to see because he is playing on offense. He is, I believe, their starting Z. So they're going to want to try to get him out into the fold, try to see if maybe they can get him something opposite of Wolford there and use that speed in the open field. Now, whether his quarterbacks can get him the ball is another story. Maybe that's the reason why we didn't see him catch any passes against Merrimack. But we did see him, ball in his hands, dangerous weapon. So whether it's defensively or in the special teams game, we're going to have to watch out for DeRillis. We can't be fake about this.
Can't be fake. Got to be all the way real. I got to be about it. He's a fast dude, and special teams for Texas Tech for me still has a question mark. So DeRillis may get some major yardage against our kickoff squads. You never know.
Yeah,
gonna have to be sharp.
And like I always say, man, am I worried about this game as a loss? Not really. I mean, I'm not. But
pack it up.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this game. But I will say this about this game is that I mention it every year. Every year I talk about how with these teams, this is their opportunity to put something great on tape, right? Now, I will tell you this. Do I think enough of them will put enough great things on tape for it to be a worry? No. But one player like a Cade Wolford who has some talent, like a DeRillis Clark who has some talent, might. So imagine if you are DeRillis Clark, right, and you want to put something great on tape, and you have a kick return touchdown against Texas Tech, boom, that's your opportunity. There you go. That's all you need to put on tape to show teams and to show people that, hey, I have what it takes to do something, right? This is your junior year. So having something on tape to not just, for NFL scouts, but really for potential transfers, right? Yeah. What if, Right. It gives them the opportunity and anybody else looking to say, you know what? Maybe Coach McGuire sees that and says, I could use some of the real.
Hey.
Stuff like that. So I think for those are really the two. I mean, offensively, nobody else is any bother, but I do think there are two players. DeRillis Clark is one of them, and then Cade Wolford is another one, right? Of hey, let's if I'm Cade Wolford, I'm going to sleep, this evening. I'm saying, I don't care what the rest of the team does. This is my opportunity.
Yeah,
right.
This is my ticket out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And if I am a Texas Tech defender, I'm saying, screw you, buddy.
Hey, you're gonna stay.
You ain't putting me on tape. That's basically you ain't. Right. That's really what it should be. Is like, hey man, I don't care what you do, but you ain't putting me on tape. It ain't gonna be on me. All right. So what is Texas Tech gonna have to do to slow down DeRillis, Cade Wolford, the quarterbacks, and so on?
Well, I can't say much about DeRillis. That's a whole special teams thing. It's pretty easy. Crush to the ball. As far as we talk about, the Golden State's offense, this is a really
Golden
good
State's offense.
Golden State. Oh, we talked about the Bears.
The Kent State. Yeah.
I just validated their entire history.
Yeah,
I validated their entire history.
Somebody from the 1921 is like, yes,
finally
we did it.
This guy gets it. Really, offensively, it comes down to, with these quarterbacks being true kind of pocket passers, they're not really comfortable getting out getting out and on the run. It allows us, number one, to crush down and get better QB pressures. And two, it allows our defensive backs to work on sticking with the receiver. So I think, again, this isn't one of those games where I'm going to say they're going to, if we don't do this, they're going to get the upper hand on us. Like they could have a wide open receiver and the quarterback can still sail it, right? You never know. Like, these guys aren't ultimately talented. Nothing is an automatic for these guys. But what this does give you guys, this does give Texas Tech an opportunity to do, is to play clean football. Something we did really well for the first couple of quarters against UAPB before all hell broke loose and we were invaded. Played clean football. And like, if you made a mistake, there was an immediate rubber band moment of like making up for it. And so that complimentary football, right? So this is just another game where we get to go out there a little earlier, right? Noon. Everybody loves a good noon game. But just to get it done, just to go out there and take care of business. The way that because we had a really big beatdown of an FCS team, if we can follow that up with a beatdown of an FBS team that we should beat down, then we'll have a lot less caution and a little bit more. We'll be starting to move into the anticipation area of like, okay, maybe we are who we thought we were. Like, maybe this is real, and that'll really reach ahead against Oregon State. But you got to have a really good game. You cannot let Kent State be relatively in this game at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we kind of switch gears here and look at Kent State's defense, a couple guys to look out for, I think, start off with CJ Young. Led the team in tackles last week, 9 tackles, a veteran on this team. This is a guy who is a redshirt sophomore and has been here at Kent State for all 3 years. He loving him some Kent, Ohio, right? And so also his partner in crime is really Mason Woods, right? And so Mason Woods, also another guy who's been here for a while, right? He's someone who is another veteran, played over at Towson, so he has played at the FCS level, and Kent State is kind of his opportunity to show what he's about, what he's able to do. And so those two guys are going to be some of the main linebackers that we're going to have to look out for and make sure to keep in on. Another guy that it's actually very interesting to me is Joel Cordoba, right? So Joel Cordoba is someone who is a true freshman, right? And as a true freshman, for him to already not only be a starter, but his first game out the gate, right? His first game out the gate was able to go in and really ball out, really have 7 tackles, right? 2 of them by himself, swarm to the ball at that strong safety position, and he's getting that opportunity right from the very get-go. So that tells you this is a kid that's pretty talented, right? And something you're going to want to look out for. And last but not least, I think the only other player that I'll give some credence to is Jair Rollison, who was also a corner who's able to swarm to the ball, able to make those one-on-one tackles, and then also kind of align himself to the receiver a little bit too. So I think all those guys played really well last week. All good starters. Probably played a bit longer than they expected to before the game started, but all I think had good games. And that was so great that Jeremy didn't realize he's on mute. So let me tell you something. The things that Jeremy was saying, I could feel it. It was like he was battling.
Smith. That's right. You ain't done nothing. I was just giving praise to Jamal Mathis along the line. Really their best pass rusher. Had a sack last week.
All right, hold on. Time out.
What?
Him being their best pass rusher, what does that mean?
He is their best pass rusher.
Okay.
That Curry is against Merrimack.
Okay, that's like being listen, him being the best pass rusher is like being the smartest person in remedial math. Okay. I don't know.
That was me, baby. Look, if you're talking about a team that, have to put a small R respect on them, that's okay. And I say more so because we have some injuries along the line. Some people that are going to be out this week. And so it's like, hey, if there's another guy who's like, let me put somebody on tape.
That's true. That's fair.
Somebody on tape. So it's just somebody to keep an eye out for. Like our offense was kind of for the, you know what? You know who I'm really talking to? Cameron Dickey, step on down, brother. Come on down, brother.
Oh, Cam Dickey. Cam Dickey is really good at the running back like position. And when you think of a running back and the things that running backs do, Cam Dickey is great. When you're a coach and you think of the things you need your running back to do, oh, buddy.
Brother, we almost lost our quarterback. Yeah, so decent defense for Kent. They won a game, so this is one of Kent State's best defenses in some time.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything?
No.
But they are feeling it. They got to celebrate a win last week, man.
They get to celebrate a win. So for some people that have been there for a while, it's been a long time coming. So speaking of quarterback, is our quarterback going to play? Behren Morton officially listed as questionable for this game after the lower leg injury. We both talked about it last game. We both, I think, agreed that maybe he shouldn't. Maybe just have it a Hammond Griffin's day. I was of the belief, honestly, this is how I really look at it, is how worried are you about Oregon State, right? I think the answer should be not that worried. Because to me, I don't want Behren Morton's first time back out to be against stiff competition, right? Mm-hmm. Like if we were playing Utah next week, I would say, you know what? Let's warm his leg up a little bit. Let's have him play for a quarter or two. Because if he gets hurt again, I mean, it is what it is anyway. We got to be prepared for that. But let him get back out there and really see what the vibes are. If we had Utah next week, we don't. We have Oregon State next week, not a good Oregon State team. And so, though I think Oregon State now is now, though I say it's not a good Oregon State team, I do believe now we'll give a little bit more respect to Oregon State. This is a team that's, though it's a what is it, group of six now? Though it's a lower level team, it's a team that's going to be playing the way up, much better than Kent State, much better than UAPB, et cetera. But still a game where we should be able to work and be able to get some warm up for Behren Morton there. That is how I look at it there. Kent State, I don't think it's necessary, right? I mean, maybe I could see them saying, hey, Behren, get out there for a series or two and use this like a preseason game. But even then, like, why? I'm okay with resting him a little bit more because he's never healthy. Let him get healthy.
Yeah. There's just no reason for more. And the conversation we had last time, I'm still going to stand on it. This isn't like the Morton Heisman season loading. This is very much let's see Texas Tech go as far as we possibly can. And for this next game, and maybe against Oregon State, at least for half, it's like you don't need Behren Morton. Like this team is skilled and adequate enough. Will Hammond's a great quarterback. He's enough to captain this team, and he proved that in a short amount of time against UAPB, but Kent State's along that same line. So, do I want, man, if Behren Morton's feeling like, you know what, that wasn't nothing, I'm good, 100%, watch me run, then great, let him play. Like I ain't worried about it if Morton's the one saying I'm good, and he's being truthful with himself, right? A lot of college athletes,
they never are.
Like, I'm good, coach. Give me some of that. tear it all, whatever. Trim it all. And it's just like, this game isn't worth it. Like, this game isn't worth putting yourself at any risk. So whatever they all end up deciding, good, great, wonderful. I think we should be able to handle it. We've been playing with our second quarterback for a decade now. I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay. All right. So with that being said, offensively, who's the guy that needs to step up on the Texas Tech side for us to get an easy, seamless W?
Cam Dickey, if you don't learn to pass block, brother, we are cooked. So let me think about on the line. So somebody who needs to step up this game. I'm looking at the list here, which is a mile long in injuries. We are out Ren Brown. We're out Cash Cleveland. We are out. That's the two. That's just the two. Okay, so Cash Cleveland really kind of a bigger loss there on the front. So offensive line, just play, you got to play well, because I think, look, Kent State's defense is not going to be putting a lot of pressure on you, but if you allow them to get pressure, this game will feel weird. Like, it won't get out of hand. It's going to feel weird, though. So for me, I got to see the offensive line play really good, cohesive football and keep Kent State out of our backfield, because it's where they're going to want to be. And we just cannot let them get back there. We got to be able to keep a team like this firmly in front, especially because I imagine when they line up, we're going to have about a foot difference. 100-pound difference, no question. It's got to be the offensive line.
Offensive line, I like it. I'll give you one player. Micah Hudson, what you talking about? Micah Hudson, because I think in this game, right, hopefully we get out to a big lead again. Micah Hudson, somebody that's going to get playing time with the ones and the twos, right? And we saw it last week already, him getting playing time with the ones and the twos. Let's get you a little touchdown, Micah. Let's, a nice little ham into Hudson connection, right? That's what I want to see step up in this game, and let's see what Micah. Let's see how some of the work that he's been able to pull off this offseason. So I'm gonna go Micah Hudson. Defensively, who you got? Who do you want to see step up in this game?
We lost Dingle at linebacker for the season, which sucks. So I think in the wake of that, I'd love to see. Actually, who I really want to see? Romello Height. More Romello Height, because he had a really good game against UAPB. A lot of speed right there. So Romello Height, man, I hope that you continue that energy. Like, keep that up. If you're gonna have like a Ben Roberts season where we're kind of talking about you, but not really, and then you just show out, please, by all means, continue to build that tape.
I like it. But the guy who I actually am very intrigued with, Mikael Dingle going out. And he was sharing his position in the depth chart. But give me John Curry.
Yeah.
I want to see John Curry and what he got, right? Because remember, him and Dingle were supposed to both have that Raider position and kind of switching it out on it. John Curry had a great camp. From everything I understand, he had an absolutely great camp. So now, instead of it being you or Dingle, it's you, right? Let's see what you got, John Curry. And that great camp, I want to see it come into fruition. I don't want to see it start here. So John Curry is the guy that I'm going to say here, be that do everything guy. Come on, man, they got a white running back. We got to destroy that. All right, can't let that go unscathed. All right, well, light skinned running back. He's fair, but if I to stereotype his last name, but either way, a fair skinned running back can't have it happen. All right, so John Curry, take care of that. No, let me tell you something what's funny about that is that nobody dislikes like white running backs and like in basketball, like white defenders more than other white people. And I find that hilarious. Like a white linebacker will look at a white running back like, whose man's is this? You can't have this happen. I got to destroy him. Or I think Alex Caruso talked about it once where he's like, every time I play basketball or like, they always got the white guy guarding me. How dare you? I'm like, Alex Caruso, what are you talking about, man? What's going on here? So John Curry for me there. All right, now we get into our predictions, Jeremy.
That's right.
So, All right, so let's go into this game. Let's talk about these trends. Let's talk about some of the things about this game, things that make you feel funny about this game. As Kent State is here at Texas Tech, right? So the spread in this game, I think it started out at 42.5. It is ballooned, sir. It is right now at 48. It is at 48. People saw that line of 42.5 and was smashing the cover. They were like, Texas Tech's definitely covering at 42.5. You see them last week? So now it's been like, all right, relax, 48. All right, we still got money that we gotta keep here. So now the line is at 48. A little bit about the Kent State Golden Flashes. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Really, they're 2-23 in their last 25, as we pointed out before. But in their last 10, they're actually 3-7 against the spread. So they're really not good in any scenario, right? The last 3 times that they actually won against the spread, against Ball State, the spread was 3, and they actually only lost by 2. So shout out to them. Against Ball State, the spread was 20, or against Bowling Green, the spread was 24, and they only lost by 21. Boom! Hey, shout out. And then against Miami, Ohio, the spread was 30.5, and they only lost by 27. So they were like, hey, holler at me. You know, they lost every other game. So, including last year when they played at Penn State, the spread was 49 and they lost 56-0. So safe to say this Kent State team, not great in these iterations. For Texas Tech, against the spread, we're actually 6-3-1 in our last 10 games, including us covering the 55-point spread we had last week. So, So Jeremy, some other nice little tidbits about this team. Kent State only put up 300 yards of offense last week. I say only, decent amount, but Texas Tech held UAPB to 175. All right, we held them bad boys. All right, they had 209 passing yards last week. Texas Tech held UAPB to 123. We're trying to do all that again. On the other side of the ball, Texas Tech put up 600 yards of total offense. Kent State gave up 340 yards of offense to Merrimack. So God bless the Kent State team for what we're about to do to them as we go forward. So, Jeremy, with that being said, I don't think I'm going to steal your prediction a little bit and say that I think it's safe to say we both are going to say Texas Tech's winning. But the question becomes, do they cover the 48-point spread?
Yes.
They cover.
I think you're saying Texas Tech covers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So no doubt in my mind. Way too many offensive weapons. I think that Merrimack is not good, right? I mean, UAPB is good, not good. Kent State is not good. None of these teams that we're talking about are good quality teams. We, on the other hand, are a team that is expecting a chance to play for the Big 12 championship, right? We're expecting that if we get that and we win that, we're moving on to college football. These are two different conversations we're having. This is like, we're just having two different conversations. And so I think there was a really good post on Reddit I saw that I kind of tagged up here. Let me read this. This kind of captures my feelings as well. Kent State is going to ride the momentum of their first win in over a year. They're going to do the impossible, do something nobody would ever think was feasible against this very hyped up Texas Tech team. They're going to score more of the points than they had wins last year. Texas Tech wins 63-7. And that feels pretty accurate. Now, mind you, we're going to have 4 full quarters as well. So
is that where you're going? 63-7. You stealing that prediction?
I think that's a good one. I think at our max against teams like this, we're in the 60s. So I think 63-7 is good. And I'll take that whether Barron's starting or not. I think that, this team just has way too many weapons, and I don't care what you're doing. Run defense, we'll run through it. Pass defense, we're just going to torch you. Reggie Virgil, I bet you Reggie Virgil has like 150 yards this game. We're just in two different leagues. This is two different things we're talking about.
So 48-point spread, I also think we cover. The score that I have in my mind, I don't think we punt one time. I think it's going to be 62-10, which would be equivalent to, let me make sure I got the math right here real quick. 8 touchdowns and 2 field goals, 10 possessions. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. I think they probably score a field goal to get on the board first, and then in the fourth quarter or third quarter, they score another touchdown as they make their way down, and we just do a lot more scoring. Even with Will Hammond. Maybe we get another 50-yard run from Will Hammond as well in this game. Mitch Griffiths gets some burn. We're not going to see Lloyd Jones, unfortunately, as he's out for injury, but it'll be the Hammond and Griffiths show, which should be interesting. But yeah, I think 62-10 still gets that cover in there. And they're good. And so Vegas will like us more as we open up into Oregon State. So both of us going the other way around now, because remember last week we didn't think they'd cover 52.5. Now we're looking at 48. Like, yeah, big boys, Texas Tech, we covering.
That's right.
So much confidence it gave us. So, all right. So Jeremy, as we've been doing, let's talk about the rest of the Big 12 before we get up out of here. All right. So games happening this week. A lot of games happening this week. Everybody's ready to play and get some burn here. So as we mentioned, Texas Tech noon game. It's on TNT and True TV and HBO Max. We got Mike Golick Jr. even at Evie Mae's barbecue on a Thursday, and he's going to be calling the game here. Crab is I think Aqib Talib is also supposed to be in the box. Crabtree is out here as well. Right, it's going to be a fun time overall, right? And so like we mentioned, we both have us playing Texas Tech. While that game's going on, two big rivalry games are happening. Well, one big, one not so big. First one being Iowa State, Iowa. Battle for the Cyhawk. Does Iowa State take the Cyhawk home?
Yes, I think no doubt. With what they've shown this year, yeah, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind.
Wow. Not a doubt in your mind. Not a doubt in your mind is pretty wild. This would be them winning it twice in a row. This would be their third win in 4 years. It would make Iowa fans just start to cry.
Now, Iowa did beat University of Albany 34-7, so we got to keep that in mind. But Iowa State, I think, has just been a little bit more tested this year. I think Rocco Beck is in a groove already, and that's always a scary thing for Iowa State quarterbacks when they hit that groove. So I don't know. I feel like Iowa State's just a little bit more prepared going into this game, and it will be in Ames. It's always helpful. So
yeah, I will say this is one of those games though that throw records, throw rankings, all that out of the water. Last year, Iowa was ranked. Iowa State was unranked. On the road, Iowa State was still able to win. Right? So, like, I sometimes do thought, I remember in 21, they were both top 10 teams. I thought Iowa State would win that game as it was in Ames, and it didn't matter. Iowa still won the game. Even though Iowa State was higher ranked, right? So I actually did for a second think that I did want to put in Iowa to win this game. Then I looked at this Iowa team. It's not a very good team. And I do think Iowa State has shown they're a pretty good team. And they've had time to kind of chill, make their way back from Ireland, have a good showing after that. And so I am going to go ahead and go with the Cyclones to keep the Cyhawk and feel good about themselves. And maybe up that ranking. So they're 16th ranked right now. The 17th ranked team in the country, the SMU Mustangs, play a home game. I guess anytime they play a Texas team, is it really ever a home game? But anyways, they play the Baylor Bears on the CW network, also at noon. Who you got in this game?
I do have the Mustangs. Baylor was very disappointing against Auburn. And I just think that, SMU, until you prove me wrong, I can't say that they're going to lose because I did that all last season.
Not so fast, my friend. Shout out to Lee Corso. I'm going Baylor. SMU is never going to have a home field advantage. So I don't know who'll have more fans in the game, but it definitely won't be a home field advantage. So this is going to be a straight up matchup. Right. And I am not willing to give up on the Baylor Bears just yet. Right. I think that I think Baylor is still going to have a team that you have to kind of watch out for. I will say, start the season with back-to-back losses, not a good omen for the season. And so I do think they're going to be able, after that loss to Auburn, pick themselves up, lick their wounds, and get a win. They're kind of, I think, 1-1 at this point of the season. You're like, okay, you played 2 top 25 teams or 2 teams that you were going to be worrisome. All right, you were able to win 1, lose 1. I think everybody's back on course there. All right. 3:30 games, and we'll start off with another big rivalry game, the Border War. Bringing it back. Kansas at Missouri. Who you got?
Oh, this one's so exciting. I actually do have Kansas for this. Number one, because of Jalen Daniels. I mean, Jalen Daniels already 7 touchdowns on the season, just in 2 games. He has a host of receivers that he can play with. And I think that this Kansas team is just really well put together. I think that it just feels like they know what they're doing this season. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be close. And if Kansas does pull, it will be Kansas pulling it out in the 4th. It wouldn't be like Kansas is leading the whole thing. But I do have a little bit. I have like a little bit of a thing of Kansas being successful in football because that's good for the Big 12 as a whole. And Missouri sucks. So you should have stayed in the Big 12, losers.
I get that. I respect that. I am going to be rooting for Kansas in this game in general. However, in Memorial Stadium in Columbia, the first game back that these 2 teams have played in a while, Missouri beat the hell out of the team they played last week, almost by 60. Missouri is favored by 6.5. I don't know if they necessarily cover, but I do think they win. So I am going to say that the Missouri Tigers do win this game here. Also, another 3:30 game, 2 Power 4 teams. Well, 1 top 10 team and 1 team that's, good job, good effort. They're just trying. They're just trying hard out there. And for some reason, somebody decided it'd be a good idea for Oklahoma State to travel to the Autzen Zoo and play Oregon. So Oklahoma State 6-ranked Oregon. Oregon right now are 27.5-point favorites to let you know what people think of Oklahoma State's chances. Does Oregon cover, Jeremy?
Man, I hope that Oklahoma State surprises everybody, buddy. But I think Oregon's going to cover. Yeah.
I don't. I want Oregon to beat the hell out of them. Hell no. Listen, let me say something. I am not rooting for Big 12 across the board. All right.
Yeah.
I root for Big 12 in certain occasions. Like if you play SMU, okay, maybe I root for you because I don't really like SMU either. If you play, and actually, honestly, for Baylor SMU, I hope they both, the stadium collapses. But I'll root for Iowa State over Iowa. I'll root for Kansas over Missouri, right? Games like that, sure. But when Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU are playing, screw them. Screw them. Take these L's. So go Ducks. Bowling Green at Cincinnati. Cincinnati 22.5-point favorites. Who you got?
Cincinnati. Cincinnati is reeling after that loss against Nebraska because it was right there. But if you looked at the graphic and our friends over at the Bearcat, I just brain farted. Our podcast friends with Cincinnati pointed out I don't remember who does the graphic, but like how bad Stats of War Guy, doesn't he do that? How bad did we actually get beat? So they said Cincinnati's been on the left side of this graph way too much, where it's like, actually your loss, you actually didn't lose that bad. And it's like, we didn't want to lose at all. But actually, we did. So I think Cincinnati's going to look for a chance to clap back against Bowling Green and get in that win column.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is going to be an opportunity for Brendan Sorsby to get back offensively. The Cincinnati defense actually played really good in that game, right? Much better than I expected them to.
Yeah.
And so Sorsby, who I have thought is a decent quarterback, okay quarterback, I think this will give him an opportunity to get back into the saddle, get that offense going again. We'll really be able to see just how good they are here. All right, the other 3:30 game, Delaware at Colorado. Colorado 24.5-point favorites. Another team that needs to get back into the saddle.
Well, I think the spread about sums it up. Although Delaware's quarterback Nick Minichucci could be bringing out the guns. You never know. But I do think Colorado is just due to get the win because we talked about early in the season. Hey, this Colorado team could be good, could be bad. It's really up to them. And they need to get back in the win column here. And it's in Boulder, so
it is in Boulder. That is true. Shout out to Colorado. I'm actually the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes in college football 26. So thank you for hiring me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, hey, it's a big accomplishment. West Virginia. Yeah. West Virginia at Ohio. West Virginia only 3.5-point favorites.
The spread was crazy.
Game. I get it's a road game, but interesting.
Yeah.
Who you got?
It's very interesting, especially since Ohio had lost their first game. That's
a Rutgers, which it's still playing up to Rutgers. I get that. It's a Power 4 team, but come on, man.
Sure, but West Virginia, 45-3 over Robert Morris. So they must really hate Robert Morris when they're doing these. But it's West Virginia's game, and I think they cover easily. I think they at least win by 2-3 touchdowns. No doubt.
I agree. I was very surprised by the line. Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's easy money if anybody's a gambling person out there.
Yeah. 6 o'clock game, 25th ranked Utah, home game against Cal Poly. I don't even have a line here for this game. Just know it's a lot.
Just know it broke the system. Give me Utah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy there. So we get to the 7 o'clock games. Starting off, North Carolina A&T at UCF in Orlando. UCF, not a lot of hoopla. Not a lot of hoopla coming into the season. Barely beat Jacksonville State last week. Can they get back on the tide here and actually look convincing against NC A&T?
Buddy, I hope so. I hope so for the sake of UCF. A team, they used to have a really good program. They were exciting. They have they claimed that national championship.
Yeah, until they came to the Big 12, buddy. All right, this ain't their American.
Not so much, buddy. Yeah. So, you better win against North Carolina A&T. Otherwise, give them your spot,
Yeah, that's right. Hey, the band, halftime shows with the NCAA would be big fire.
Buddy, I was hoping for the halftime show with UAPB, and the damn storm came through.
Oh no, I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Missed out.
That's crazy. Yeah, that sucks. Army at Kansas State. A lot of triple option. Kansas State doing a lot of triple option drills. I've been there, K-State off defense. I've been there. When I was in high school, 3 teams in our district. Well, 3 teams in our district in high school had played triple option.
Did they really?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 teams in our district. Hey man, this is mid to late 2000s. All right,
yeah.
The triple option was still alive at the time.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the guys who went up against the triple option ended up getting a scholarship to the Naval Academy to run the triple option. So,
right.
Yeah. Hey, Kansas State. The line is 17.5. Can they show us something good?
Dude, the disrespect against Army is actually surprising. I am firmly on the bus of never schedule the service schools. Just because you never know. You never know what you're gonna get. Service schools have had some surprising upsets in the history of their time in college football. If you just go look through their histories, they've had some really good games against quality opponents, really good opponents. And just because Army lost to Tarleton last week doesn't make me go, oh, Army sucks. So we're going to rickroll them. The spread being 17.5, I would say that Army keeps it under that, especially with the way that they're going to try to run out the clock on Kansas State. Kansas State, we've always said this is a straight and narrow program. They're clean football. This season may be a little bit different, right? But they try to run a clean ship. If they're running a clean ship, Army's is squeaky clean. That is a team that, and of course it's a service school, so they have to be, right? But I think that Kansas State wins it, but I do think Army is going to, keep it under 17.5.
Jeremy, the last time Army played a power conference school, they played Notre Dame and they lost 49-14. The time before that, they played LSU and they lost 62-0.
Okay,
time before that, they played Syracuse and they lost by 13.
There you go. I would put Kansas State on Syracuse's level at that time.
I will say this. I think if this was Army last year, coming off of an 11-2 season and a team that I felt really confident, I would really put K-State on upset alert, legitimately, especially after the first 2 duds they put out. Army lost to Tarleton. I've lost all faith in that Army team. I think Kansas, dude, you can't lose to Tarleton and make me still a believer. So in Manhattan, Kansas, the Wildcat fans gonna salute Army, and then whip out the whipping stick. I think I got the Wildcats by 3 tutties. The Bayou Bucket Bowl, Jeremy. Houston at Rice.
That's right.
Right. Houston at Rice. Houston line is 13.5. I'm a bit surprised. Rice is whipping out the powder blues in this game.
Powder blues. I know. Oh man, such a good uniform. Truly. Good for you, Rice. You're gonna look great. Great win against over the Raging Cajuns last week, but I think that line is pretty honest for Houston. So there's no such thing as a home field advantage. If they're going to be in Houston either way, so all the fans are there. So yeah, I do pick Houston here confidently, but not running away with it.
Yeah, I mean, this game, no matter where it is, usually has a little bit more U of H fans in general. That Rice Stadium is an interesting one because it's actually really large. It's like a really big stadium for no reason. They've had plans to tear it down and build a smaller one for years, but that costs money, and Rice doesn't really care about their athletics program. Right. So, so it's going to be interesting. U of H fans that are there. We make fun of U of H having a lack of fans, but they have more fans than Rice. Right, so they're going to still be able to kind of come to that stadium. It is going to be more of a neutral site game. I'll be pulling for the Owls. My sister went to Rice. I've been to more Rice games than most people living. So I'll be pulling for the Owls. I hope they do win the Bayou Bucket. I think it'd be great for them. Great for what they're trying to accomplish over there. However, I do think, and I mentioned it in the preview pod, that this is the year that Houston could surprise some people. I could see Houston going to a bowl game this year potentially. So if Houston's going to do it, this is the time to show it. So I do think they're going to beat Rice in this game. I do think they're going to beat Rice in this game. Lions 13.5. I got Houston by 2 tuds, so they cover as well. All right, we're going to move on to the 7:30 game and try to get up out of here. 12th ranked Arizona State at Mississippi State. Roll the Big 12, pull the wall over the SEC's eyes.
Pull the what over the eyes?
Pull the wall. Will they surprise them? Will they, show them where's something to reckon with?
Yeah, sure. So I think the Devils will win this game. Although Mississippi State fans that I'm connected with are pretty pissed that Arizona State's coach, why am I blanking on his name? Starts with a D, but was talking about how Dillingham that was talking about how that they can't even stay in Starkville. They have to stay in a complete. And he was kind of dumping on Stark Vegas, which is somebody who lived there. Let me tell you something, buddy. You're absolutely right. That place is the dumps. There's a charm to it. It's college town for sure. But some Mississippi State fans are upset about that. So the line being Arizona State 6.5, I do think this will be a close game. Listen, I don't care what they say about the Cowbells. Just because Dak Prescott went there doesn't mean that they're the Cowbells are a crazy atmosphere. They're not. It is loud, but I mean, it can be. It's like a high school football game. When everybody has so.
What was that noise?
You got to be ready, obviously. And Arizona State, 12th ranked, you're going to have to prove it, which really is just going to come down to, how's their offense doing? So.
Well, I was the offensive coordinator at Mississippi State recently before going to Colorado,
Who's going to be offended by my comments?
Unfortunately, they don't have me at OC to lead them to the national championship like I was previously. So sorry, Bulldogs and my people over. I do have some other friends who went to Mississippi State as well. Shockingly enough, everybody that I know that went to Mississippi State did not graduate. But think about it. None of y'all did.
Oh my God!
I don't know what's up with any of y'all. None of y'all did. I don't know what this. I know 3 or 4 people that all went to Mississippi State. None of y'all graduated.
Group.
What's your problem? But give me. Let me tell you something. This is actually one of those that my answer, honestly, is I don't know. Because I could see Mississippi State winning this game, but for the betterment of the Big 12, I won't do this very often. We can't lose to Mississippi State.
Thank God.
Can't take the team that is pegged to be the best team in the Big 12 versus the team that is pegged to be the worst team in the SEC and lose. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't have that happen. So Arizona State, come on now. Come on, guys. Weber State, Arizona. Who you got?
Wildcats.
Well, yes, Wildcats.
Arizona. Give me Fafita. It's in Tucson.
All right. Last but not least, Stanford at BYU.
The Stanford Cardinals? Damn. BYU by 100.
Yeah. I don't think Stanford's winning a game this year. I really don't. That team is bad. BYU, the line is 20.5. Give me more. More.
That's right.
All right. I think BYU wins by a bunch. So, I think with the exception of me picking, actually, I think we have a Big 12. Well, definitely with Oklahoma State. I think we have a Big 12 team winning every game this week. So, I did pick Missouri as well. But Missouri. I did pick Missouri as well. But winning the majority of the games this week as we move on. Real quick before we get out of here, the border war tickets as low as $205. That's what I'm telling you, man. Those Missouri fans, they ready for this. There's a lot of Kansas fans too. That's what happens with rivalries. Mac. They're a big deal. We gotta bring them. We gotta bring them back. I think Texas Tech needs to find a way to bring back either rivalry with Texas or A&M. I'm probably in the minority. I think the A&M rivalry is more important and special to bring back than the Texas one.
I think it's more exciting.
Yeah, I think it's more exciting as well. I think we are more natural rivals as opposed to just everybody hating Texas, right? Yeah. And so
our statue, Soapsuds' ass is pointing towards College Station. Like, if that doesn't scream rival, what does?
Well, technically, it's pointing towards both Austin and College Station. Because
look, man, I'm not upset it captures both those losers in the same shit stream. I'm just saying it was supposed to be College Station.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else you want to say to the people, Jeremy?
I think we've said enough.
I think we have to. Usually, I will say, as we get into conference season, that whole long-winded predictions phase won't be too long. But oh well. So yeah, we'll see the Red Raiders this weekend as they play the Kent State Silver Foxes. I just feel like calling them Silver Foxes from here on out. That's just
give me them golden flashers. Let's go.
What a terrible way to pick a name. But I expect a lot of fireworks. Regardless of who's our quarterback, this team is not a very good team. I expect us to win by a lot. I think if anything, if Texas Tech ends up winning by like 21, that would be the disappointment, right? Like, oh man, we only lost by 3 touchdowns. Are we for real? But then we'll have a whole recap pod where somebody tweets something crazy, and then is this guy an idiot? Is what we're all going to be saying, and all this stuff. So McGuire team, save us from all that and just beat them by 40 plus, right? So please do so. But I appreciate that. If you were watching the Cowboys-Eagles game, you're going to go to bed very late because it's a weather delay. So, and who spits on somebody?
Buddy, what the hell was that?
Who spits on somebody?
You're a grown man. Act like
yeah, come on. Which way are we doing? Also, who doesn't beat the hell out of somebody for getting spit on?
That's right.
What are we doing here? Why does Dak have no friends? Right? Because I'm not gonna beat somebody up. Y'all gotta beat him up for me.
That's right.
Because all right, Dak made a business decision. He said, "Okay, Jalen Carter's a big boy. I'm not gonna beat him up. Hey guys, can y'all beat him up? Can y'all jump him? Jump him.
What? Everybody's over at the line. Oh, there's on the sideline. Hold on.
Jump him. Defend my honor." They were like, "Man, Dak, shut your ass up." Man, shut up. You got spit on. You're like Drake getting pissed on your leg. With all that being said, we're going off the rails already. We're already past time. So, for you, the People's Champ, Jeremy Gillen, this is your boy, I'll be sure, and you have listened to the Tortillas and Takes podcast, part of the 1012 Network. As always, stay wrecked, people.